Короче, you asked me a question about isomorphism and if this has to do with masking, and I think not, because isomorphism is more like, I mean, it's a concept that it relates to our relationship with the world of ideas and the real world. Like, for example, if I tell you, I always use this example to explain it. You know the Daft Punk song Around the World, yeah? You know that it starts with a low pass filter on and then it opens. Like, you see, in your head, you just imagine a version of that. You imagine how it sounds. And you even can imagine how that filter opens. And then when you grab an equalizer and you do that, you are kind of like establishing an isomorphic relation in between your head and what you're doing in the DAW. Like, the concept of isomorphism is the idea of trying to preserve the same idea when you move from location of where that idea is located. It's a mathematical concept, actually. It's like, look at this. It's so cool, man. I'm gonna open that slide I sent you. Are you seeing my screen? Are you seeing my screen? Aha. Like, I'm opening that same slides that I sent you about isomorphism. And let me stand here. Like, you see, like, these shapes are changing. But they are really the same shape. The same isomorphic shape. Why? Because the distance between the points remains the same. You are preserving the information. Like, these two images, graph G and graph H, that you see here, they are the same. Because, you see, the distance between A and I is the same distance as 1 and 4. This distance here. The distance between G and B is the same distance as 5 and 6 here. The distance between I and D, wait, this one here, is the same distance as, or I got it more easier here, E and C is the same distance as 4 and 8. So, you see, imagine that when you think about that, this is so cool, man. I'm so mind blown. This year I learned so fucking much. Like, I'm like a new person. I love this. Like, you see, when you think about that Daft Punk beginning, in your head, maybe it looks like this. And in reality, it looks like this. But mathematically, they are both the same. Even though they're, because I mean, how does a filter sweep in your brain looks like? Who the fuck knows? How does it looks like? But what I'm trying to say with this is, like, you can have an idea that in your head and in the world they are the same, but obviously the same idea in your head, when it's loaded into your brain, it doesn't look like the same thing. For example, think about an architect and a building. The architect thinks about the building in his head, and how does that idea looks inside his head? I'm not asking you how does it looks like in terms of, like, how does the building look like. It's like, if you want to go and open the brain of this person and grab that idea from his brain, it looks like a whole bunch of connection between neurons. It doesn't look like the building, but the building is the same. So the reason Нет, я не запутался сам вообще. Я тебе говорю, что значит concept isophorism. Isophorism is a structure preserving mapping between two structures. Like, what is the meaning of that? Окей, я тебя понимаю. Но если ты не шутил, ты можешь это мне сказать. Это круто все равно. Но что я имею в виду, это что ты понимаешь, что я сказал уже, или надо повторять еще раз? Yeah, just like, I mean, in order for us to EQ, we need to have an isomorphic relationship between our thoughts and what we are EQing. Something like that. And that's the idea. But now, let's go to another concept here that is pretty cool. And that's not the main point of today's lecture. The main point of today's lecture is, I mean, I'm continuing the book of Mike Senior, and in this chapter, he talks about multiband dynamics, basically. But I saw a concept the other day that was really cool, and I wanted to discuss it with you, and it's about masking. And that's a really cool concept. It's about something called masking curves. It's called like that. So let's see. Some extra thoughts on auditory masking. That's where we start. So but let me move this here. I like to see your face. I like to see your face, bro. But no, I have just like. Have you ever seen my setup? Have I ever shown you a photo of my setup? Yeah, you have seen it, right? I have the 3 screens. So I see you on the left. I haven't showed you. Wait, it's so cool setup, bro. Wait, let me send you a photo on Telegram so you can see it. Wait. Well, I guess like this is enough, and so you can see the door here. Wait. Oh, yeah, it's such a nice little setup, bro. I have made so many. It's like, I don't know, I think like something like 15 records from this little place. Something like that. It's so cool. Little place. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Да, я тебе отправил. No, what? So I have 3 screens, you see, and I see you on the left screen. Это был баня, да-да. В прошлом, типа, это отец Аня строил, и когда карантин начиналась, я начинал работать здесь. Окей. Да. Короче, let's go. So, okay. I'm kind of like defining masking one more time before we continue, because what I want to show you is these graphs and what it means. Man, it's amazing, bro. It's fucking crazy, dude. Like what it is so cool. But to get there, I wanted to just like think about masking for a moment. So what we hear is a complex combination of sounds, sources, and their characteristics interacting with the environment, decoded by our ears and brain. So we got a lot of things. Right now, the stiralna machina is working there, and I hear it, and I hear you, and you mask the stiralna machina when you talk. I don't hear it when you talk. Audio masking is when the perception of one sound is affected by the presence of another sound, of course. And here's, like, you see what I've been saying for a while, that I'm going crazy like a stupid, and nobody it's going crazy with me. I feel like a madman. I'm going crazy about this masking thing, and I tell this to the students, and everybody's like, whatever, and I'm like, no. Like, the masking happens in us. So I mean, the sound of your voice and the sound of the machine, they both arrive to this table, and the table doesn't experience the masking like I experience the masking. So these are not phenomenon of the universe. These are phenomenon of human. Like, this matters a lot. It's kind of like, imagine that every time we look at the sun, we see a face, you know, and then that face doesn't exist in the universe. That's the same as what's happening with almost everything we hear. It's fucking crazy, in my opinion. But anyways, auditory masking can happen in the frequency domain and also in the time domain. So we discussed this when we talked about masking the other day. Simultaneous masking happens when a signal is compromised by masking the sound of the other at present time. Same shit. Let me delete that for the future. Mask threshold is the quietest level of signal perceived when combined with a specific masking sound. So there is a threshold in a point when there is no masking and there is masking. That's obvious. The amount of masking is different between the masked and unmasked threshold. So, like, depending on which of the frequency where you are, they will have different masking thresholds, because our ears don't want to get certain range of frequencies masked, so they are better at not getting those frequencies masked than other frequencies. I mean, like, we don't want the baby cry to get masked by the sound of the leaves, so the tiger, we can hear the baby and the tiger. Basic auditory masking test involves measuring unmasked thresholds, introducing masking noise, and I mean, basically there are ways to test this. And now this, bro, I love this chart, because it finally helped me to understand and to prove something that I was thinking a lot for many years, and that now I'm sure about. So before I read anything or tell you anything, let me explain you this chart. This chart is called a masking curve. And so it's showing you, for example, 410 hertz. How much 410 hertz? It masks 3K. Like, when you play, this is pizdiet, bro. When you play 410 hertz at 60 decibels, 3K gets masked 10 decibels. Не совсем, типа, окей, наверное, концепт похож, но это разная история, типа, да, конечно. What this slide is telling us, you see, it's like when I play 410 Hertz. Какой голубый? Вот это? Но вот это голубый тебе покажет, типа, что сейчас это 410 Гц. И сколько Герц здесь, это не 60, это 80. На это пункт. Это просто, типа, представляй, что, видишь, если ты сделал такая линия, она не находится на 60. Они просто тебе скажут, типа, это 80, это 70, это 60. Я точно не знаю, почему они сделали так, но они сделали так. Да. И потом, когда ты играешь частота 410 Гц на 80 дБ, например, он тоже маскует 3000 кГц, видишь? Это очень важно, это пиздец важно, потому что 410 это нам говорит про поводу отношения между частотами, которые не находятся рядом. Между их, типа, не находятся рядом, я имею в виду, да, physically. So, you see, like, 410 Hertz masks 1K quite a bit. 410 Hertz masks, obviously, and you see there is another factor here that is important to watch in this slide. I mean, what you get from this chart too is that you see 410 Hertz masks more 1K than it masks 200. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's not expected to me at all. So now you can start searching for masking curves. Like you can Google like masking curves and see frequencies. And kind of like understand how there is a retroactive relationship between all the frequencies. And we tend to think like the low end only affects the low end. No, like the low end affects the mid-range affects everything. Да, конечно, конечно. И это другой пункт, потому что our hearing system is shitty, man. It's very shitty. Like, I want my money back, you know? Give me my money back. Like, for this shitty hearing system I have, like, yeah, that's really cool observations that you're saying as well, because that's what it means, that it's like frequency and amplitude dependent. Like, the more louder it is, the more the effect it is. And think about it, it's kind of like, yeah, well, I mean, if we stay in that example, that's really great. So masking curves are a way to visualize how masking, now I'm going to kind of read and go through this info. Masking curves are a way to visualize how masking sound affects our perception. They are used to understand how different frequencies of a sound can be masked or hidden by other sounds of the same frequency range or another one as well. They are plotted in a graph. Sometimes they're expressed in SPL, or in this case is dB, and it shows the threshold. Yeah, I mean, I don't have to explain everything here. Maximum or particular test tone shows an SPL. Like, this is like happens sometimes with test tones, and the curve is higher at frequencies where the masking sound has more energy and is therefore more effective at masking the test tone. And if you analyze them, you can determine which frequencies are more susceptible to masking. For example, this thing, it tells us something really important about the relationship between 400 Hertz and 1000 kind of Hertz. Like, there is something happening there. Like, this relationship changes after 1000 Hertz, but that means that in between 400 and 1000 there is quite a good, strong relationship. So, I mean, one thing we can do in... Как они это замеряли? Может быть, что представляешь, что ты спрашиваешь 10 тысяч человек, типа точно 10 тысяч человек. Ты играешь один тон 400 Гц, один тон 1000 одновременно, и спрашиваешь, типа, скажите субъективно, как сильно ты слышал 1000 Гц, когда была он отдельно и была с другой. И окей, если ты это сделаешь за один человек, это не будет полезно. Но если ты повторяешь это 10 тысяч раз, тебе дают более-менее как тенденция, типа того. Да. Okay, and then more speaking about masking and not about these masking curves, like simultaneous masking happens when something becomes inaudible. And remember, it's so cool. This happens because some hearing cells become insensitive because there is one cell that is nearby to it. We discussed this once. The effectiveness of masking is raising the threshold of the original sound, depends on the frequency. Okay, this is frequency dependent. The greatest masking occurs when the masker and the sound are at the same frequency, of course. Obviously, if the two frequencies are at the same time, the masking is super brutal, and that's what you can understand also from here. It's like 410 hertz and 410 hertz. Like if you play them at the same time, there's gonna be almost perfect masking between them. On frequency, masking occurs when the masker and the original sound are within the same auditory filter, making them indistinguishable for the listener. You know, and that's, I guess that's what louder means to us. This is what I've been saying about the fact that it's a human. Like what louder means to us. I mean louder, I don't mean loud. I mean louder than another thing. It's like when that stupid machine starts spinning, I'm perceiving, I mean, I'm kind of like, my hearing cells cannot focus on you anymore because they get desensitized by this SPL produced by that thing. And then I mean, we know what louder means, but now we can feel it like in terms of like how our biology works. And I think that's really powerful. So this figure, let's see what they write here. Like figure 1 is this one that you have here, illustrates the phenomenon of simultaneous masking using a tone center around 410 hertz. At low masker levels around 20 and 40 decibels, the masking patterns have little effect on our listening ability. So you see, like this is 100 hertz here. So let me see. Yeah, so under 100 hertz, there is almost no masking happening between 420. I would have never guessed that. I would have never made a bet on it. I would have said that in between 20 hertz and 400 there is masking happening, but there isn't. That's really crazy, and that's why we need to now go. And it's so cool, bro, that we have been, especially me. Imagine, how old are you now? You're 22. That's amazing, man. That's so cool. That's so cool that you're 22, bro. It's so great. Because fuck, man, like it's very true that you only live one life, and this decade, in between 26 and 36 is the fastest one. It's just like it happens like in 5 minutes, and it's like tush, and then you're like fuck, like everybody I admire are some fucking diedushkas now. Pizdiets. It's happening to me now when I see my bands that I love, like, and I'm like, look at Dave Grohl, like he's a fucking diedushka now. Pizdiets. Like everybody I love is a diedushka now. Like, anyways, so I was saying, like I got this now, and you're getting this when you're 22, man. That's so great. That's so fucking great. That's what I mean. That is so great that you're 22 now and you're getting this in this moment. That I will be this Diedushka, and I will be all full of white hair. But right now, have you seen this video I sent about the new Foo Fighters drummer? Have you seen it or not yet? Okay, like let's take 1 second to watch it, man. Like it's so important to me that I have to take 1 minute to watch it. Wait. Let me open it in Safari, and I guess I will get some copyright strike for that, but I don't give a shit about it. Wait, let me just open Safari. 1 moment. Application, Safari. Yeah, here it is. It's like 3 minutes or something. What are you listening there? Some video. Look, I mean, I think that this is important because shit, man, like because of human resilience, like the capacity to continue even though there is a problem. I look at Prigozhin. We can also see Prigozhin talking. No, Foo Fighters, new drummer. Check this out, man. Yeah, it's 2 minutes, and I will jump, so it will be like 1.5 minutes. Can you see there? And can you hear?
Man, have you ever like gotten into a fight with someone in your?
Can you hear?
And on stage.
So you see, there is an important detail here. This is the well, you need to know that the Foo Fighters drummer died a year ago. You know this, right? Man, they went on tour in Colombia, and the night before the show, he died in the hotel room. Like, there was no drugs, nothing. It was just like some freak shit, man. He died like the night before the show. Yeah. And so, and this was like they were together playing from 1997 or something. The same people, like it never changed the lineup. It's always the same guys. And so, you know, sometimes you come to the repa and maybe the drummer arrives late, and then you start talking bullshit there until the drummer arrives, and when the drummer arrives, hey, let's play, right? So you see, this is the perspective you're seeing from the drummer, and they are talking bullshit there.
No. Have you, Pat? You
so
have.
What they're gonna say is not so important. I will skip a little bit. It's like blah blah blah. It's like the first question is like, have you ever been in a fight?
Have you ever like gotten into a fight with someone in your band on stage? No. Have you, Pat? You have.
Pat's gotten in fights with the crowd. We have the video evidence.
But you've never like punched someone in your own band?
No, I don't have any siblings in the band.
Okay, got
That's
it.
a Red
We're
Cross
talking
thing.
about this. It's like, ah, okay, I never had a fight with anybody in the band.
They would really fight?
Fist fight. On stage. Like,
Pat, hold on. Come on! Hey!
So that's the drummer of Red Hot Chili Peppers, right?
Excellent. How you doing?
I'm great.
Hey.
See?
There's a white Mercedes blocking me.
Oh, okay. Is that you, Rami?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll be there in a second. Thanks, Chad. All right, brother.
So you see, like, you understand the joke so far. The public doesn't know who is the next drummer. So appears like, and everybody's like, fuck, it's the drummer of Red Hot Chili Peppers. And the guy's like, oh no, listen, like, you're blocking me there outside. And so he goes, and then we will go to the next one.
It was good to see Chad.
So they are gonna
We
talk
had the
about
match.
Chad a little bit, like,
Fuck,
yeah, okay,
really?
it's so
Yeah.
cool. And then
Come
next one.
on! Dudes!
So that's Tommy Lee, like a very famous drummer from the 80s.
Hey, what's up, man?
I got the
I
PF
brought you some
Changs.
food, guys.
Yes! Thanks. Oh, you're the best.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, you just put it in the kitchen for us, would you?
Cool. Okay, cool.
All right, thanks, Tommy.
See you on the road.
У тебя есть что-то там происходит? Да. Все? Ah, you have to go. Понял. Ah, for 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, let's finish this and then I will make a like this pause. This is just 1 second and we will finish, okay? Ya poño, ya poño.
See you, buddy. See ya.
He's so funny.
Hey, wait a second.
So they kept talking bullshit. They kept talking bullshit, talking bullshit, talking bullshit, talking bullshit.
What's up, buddy?
And the next one is the drummer of Tool.
Hey! What's up, buddy?
I groomed your poodles for
So
you.
he's like, I brought you to
Oh,
the
you didn't have to do that. What a bro. You know what I mean? Oh, you can just leave him out back. That's fine. Yeah.
I gotta get back to rehearsal.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Have a good one, guys.
All right. See you, Danny.
Hey, bro.
Thanks, man.
Hi, thank y'all.
Did you know that he grooves poodles?
Excuse me! Guys, could we just, like, I don't know, play a song?
I mean, he was always there sitting, and they were just talking bullshit. And he's like, and that's the new drummer. That's the guy who is the new drummer of the band. That's how they show it to the world. Anyways, I told you this because you see, they're all fucking dedushkas, all these people, and so it happens, man, so fast. It just happens so fast. It's like, poof, everybody's a dedushka. Like, anyways, look. So if you have to go for 10 or 15 minutes, you know, we can maybe do like this lecture with Dima on Tuesday and do like next week we do 2 lectures like we did. And we can discuss this concept with him. I mean, I think maybe that's a good idea because we already lost a bit of time. We can call this like no lecture and we finish it on Tuesday. I mean, maybe better. So we also give Dima a chance, okay? Okay, so I will delete this video on YouTube and just forget about it and go to your stuff. Go to your stuff and we'll see you on Tuesday. I will take this to Dima, okay? Давай, братан. Давай, ничего. Давай. Пока-пока. Пока-пока.